Today we're down at the dugout with Christopher Troye. CT, how you doing today?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Let's just jump right into it. Recently, it's been a little bit of a revolving door with teammates and stuff, promotions and stuff like that. What is that like for you with so many teammates coming and going?
I mean, it's a part of the game. You know, it's nothing new. I mean, for me, it's just stay focused on what I know I need to get done, and as long as I can get those things done, then we make the most of what we have, and we go out every day wanting to compete.
Yeah, because I mean, some of your boys, though, I mean, Marcelo's gone. Like, that's got to be tough, right? Because, I mean, sure. I see you guys posting on social media and stuff in the offseason and stuff like that. During the season, doing some fun stuff like concerts, whatever it may be on your off days. So, I mean, that's got to be a little tough to lose some of your boys, though, right?
Definitely. I mean, before they left, I just told them I was going to miss them. But it's added motivation,
Right.
They're moving up, and I'm happy for them. And I know for me, it's okay. Stay focused on what I need to get done. That way I can go meet them.
And speaking of playing with those guys, the Spring Breakout Game as well. Obviously, it was only 7 innings, so really no relievers got in. But how cool was that to just be a part of that and have so many guys who are the cream of the crop of the organization and be able to share the field and share the day with them?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool experience. Obviously, I would have liked to pitch.
Right.
Shorter game, but I mean, a cool experience nonetheless. And I mean, it's always just good to add on to the resume.
Yeah. Were there, because obviously it was any guys ranging from low A to triple A, were there any guys that you hadn't met before, going into that day? And my first question would probably be, what was that like, the whole thing? Did you guys practice together, or you just showed up and you were the roster that day?
Yeah, we were the roster that day. I mean, we got some workouts in. I believe they did an infield, outfield, did some pregame catch play on the field. I played catch with Luis Guerrero, who I think was the only reliever to get into that game.
Yep.
But it was just a cool experience to know that obviously to have the organization value you and to see the guys that they think of as a future. It's humbling, and it's forced me to keep the head down and keep grinding, bro.
Right, and yeah, back to that original question. Were there any teammates that you had on that day that you hadn't met before because they just weren't at the same level as you, or?
I don't know. I'll have to look at the roster. I don't think so. I mean, just because of how much we interact in spring training and across different organizations, different levels, we're all pretty well connected. So I don't know, but again, that's a big roster, bro. So I'll have to look at it.
For sure. And just talking about you yourself, you took it upon yourself sort of this last year, whatever it may be, to sort of really connect with fans on social media and other ways too. How important is that to you?
The fans might not like this, but I didn't do it to connect with the fans.
Right.
The reason why I'm doing that is to document my mission, to document the journey that I'm going on in every facet of my life. Because to be truthful, I've created my life. I've manufactured the opportunity to be here today with consistent hard work and dedication. And so I think that for me, it's just about showing that everyone can do it. And there's really no limit to what you can do with consistent dedication, consistent hard work and dedication. So that's the real purpose behind why I'm doing those things, why I'm active on social media,
right.
Why I'm sharing what I'm doing in real estate, why I'm sharing what I'm doing in online business, and then just documenting my baseball journey. It's not to interact with fans per se, though that's a positive byproduct. It's more so just to document the life that I'm living and to create the lifestyle that I've designed and bring that to reality.
For sure. And organically through doing that, though, you have created a connection with fans.
For sure.
I think
100%.
I think there's tons of fans out there that know your name, and that's happened throughout the entire organization this year. I think that there's a lot of fans of teams that might not know, they're AA players, and that's just because the baseball season's so long, you might be so focused on the major league team or whatever that is. How cool has that been for you, for fans to sort of kind of cling on to you and kind of take a liking to you, really?
I mean, it's awesome. Every Boston fan base it's a tough fan base, because
right.
they expect perfection, and as a competitor, I expect perfection too. So whenever you fall short, there's going to be that backlash. But at the end of the day, I think just creating a sense of community and building that online is what it's about.
And let's talk about a little bit of your play on the field now. You went on the dev list early in the year, and then kind of since then you've been back to what people can expect from you on the field and what you might expect from yourself. What was it that you were working on, like in Fort Myers, that kind of helped like turn it back around?
Yeah, I don't think we had to beat around the bush, right? I came out of the gates, had an incredible spring training, had a great year last year, played well in the fall league, spring breakout roster. Coming into the season, didn't perform the way that I expected of myself. So the organization sent me down to Fort Myers, put me on the dev list, sent me down to Fort Myers, and I was really grateful for it because they just basically said, look, we know that you're not performing the way that you want to perform. Go down to Fort Myers, get right, do what you need to do, and then when you're ready to come back, we'll come back and pick up right where we left off. So I guess to your earlier point of I've been doing what I can expect of myself, I'm still not doing it. Now I've had an incredible July, I've had an incredible August. I fully expect that to continue, but I'm most excited about the fact that there's still meat on the bone. There's still things that I can do to get better, and I know that when I do get better, I mean, the sky's the limit. There's gonna be no ceiling, and to see the results that I've had, again, these last 2 months, it's just been a testament to the process and to the work that I've been putting in on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like since coming off the dev list, like it's been a lot better. What were some of the things, like was it like mechanically you think early in the year, or was it like anything in particular?
Yeah, I think you look at over my pitching career. I was a catcher, converted pitcher in college, and I never had a good statistical season on the mound. Always had a big fastball with a lot of potential. So last season for me was my breakout season, and I've never had that level of success on the mound before. So I think coming into this year, maybe putting too much pressure on myself that wasn't necessarily warranted, and understanding how to manage that pressure was probably for me what I would say was the biggest difference, the biggest learning experience.
And you mentioned the fastball as well. That's something I wanted to ask you about. Is your fastball shape and your numbers are really solid. Is that something that like you look into as a player? Because I know there's some players that really like to dig into like the shape of their fastball and then like their overall performance numbers and stuff like that. Do you like to look at the numbers, or are you kind of like, they are what they are?
I like to look at the numbers when they're good.
Right, yeah. Who doesn't?
But no, I mean, to be truthful, my fastball, it's elite. It's I mean, it's 23, 24 plus inches of vert and 0 horizontal, sometimes -1, sometimes 1, but for the most part about 0 horizontal. So I look at the numbers, and it's just to make sure that I'm trending in the right direction, that the things that I'm working on a daily basis in my process are yielding the results that I want to see. So I'm keeping track of the numbers, I'm looking at them, and I'm using them to manufacture the process that I need in order to get to where I want to go.
And let's talk about the rest of your pitch arsenal. What else are you throwing out there?
A cutter.
Yep.
And I called it a gyro slider for the longest because it's a slider, but it's got negative vertical and close to 0 horizontal. So yesterday we were in the clubhouse, and Connolly Early told me of a new pitch called the death ball, which I would like to probably start calling my gyro slider a death ball. Okay,
yeah, there we go. I mean, who doesn't love that? I always love to hear what guys call their pitches, because even like some guys will call their fastball, no, it's a sinker. The new thing is the splinker, obviously, the split and the sinker combined. So that's always cool to hear. I want to get back a little bit to, you talked about how you converted from catcher to pitcher. Talk to me just about like that whole process, like what that was like.
Yeah, it was. I was 18 years old, coming off the high school All-American game, with a little bit of an ego, big scholarship going into Santa Barbara, and one of my best friends today, he actually debuted a couple weeks ago. His name's Eric Yang. He's with the Reds, but he was a year older and a very good catcher. And so my coach Checkitz at Santa Barbara, when I was there, sat me down and said, "Hey, you're not gonna catch over this guy, but we think that you have an opportunity to help us coming out of the bullpen." And I was reluctant, and I told him that I was going to beat out Eric Yang, which in hindsight, never beat them out. Didn't get to play at all behind the dish my freshman year. I brought catcher's gear out to the Cape in 2019 when I went out there, but never caught. And then ever since Tommy John in 2019, been a pitcher ever since.
Yeah. And also, I want to get back to remind me one thing. I saw something interesting about in your bio in your UC Santa Barbara days. But also, we talked to Hunter Dobbins about his recovery from TJ and stuff like that. How smooth did your recovery go?
Mentally, it was an incredible learning experience. I lost my self-identity, and at 19, 20 years old, I didn't really know anything other than baseball. You know, my identity was almost entirely wrapped in being a baseball player, being a pitcher at the time. So the biggest, I guess, learning experience that has nothing to do with my physical, or it has nothing to do with the actual UCL, is probably figuring out who I am, discovering, creating who I want to be. And so that was my first big, I guess, identity crisis, you could probably call it, because you go a whole year without playing baseball. So it was tough for me from a mental perspective. But as far as the resources, the doctors, the physical therapy, the throwing programs, I mean, everything A to Z, Coach Checketts, Dr. Proctor, incredible staff, and I couldn't be happier.
Mm-hmm. And when I spoke to Zach Penrod earlier this year as well, he talked about what the difference between finding what's sore and what's hurt, if that makes sense. Like, he was basically talking about the whole recovery process, and like that's just all so interesting in how it's becoming a lot more popular in the game today too. Yeah,
I mean, first of all, Penrod's a good dude. We lived together beginning of the season before he got called up, and played in the fall league last year together, which was my first interaction with him, and I can't say enough good things about him. But he's spot on, bro. When he's talking about the difference between hurt and sore, it's like you come back from Tommy John and you don't really know if you trust your UCL yet. You don't really know if you trust your arm yet to throw hard. And so there's going to be days that you're sore and you're thinking, did I just re-tear my UCL? You know, those are thoughts that cross your mind.
Right.
So deciphering between what's sore because you worked and it's good sore, versus this hurts and I need to take a step back is, I mean, that's the game today that we're playing.
Right.
We're in August now. You know, nobody's feeling 100%.
Right. So this is my next question. This is what I want to get back to about your UC Santa Barbara bio. Is I found that it said that your two favorite movies were Good Will Hunting and Shawshank Redemption. Is that still true?
Yes.
Okay, because
Good Will Hunting, bro, one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably my favorite movie of all time.
It's my favorite movie as well, for sure.
Go.
So that's why I found that so interesting. Putting you on the spot a little bit here, but what would you say your Mount Rushmore is of favorite movies?
To be truthful, I don't really watch that many movies. I don't watch that much TV. Mount Rushmore. How many movies is that? How many faces are?
It's four.
Shawshank Redemption, Good Will Hunting. I'll go with those two. I'll keep those in there.
You could go with a TV series too if you want.
Max Ferguson, when I was down in Fort Myers, actually got me on Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And about 2 weeks ago, I just finished Game of Thrones.
Ooh,
I really enjoyed that.
Yep.
I'll put that up there, and then I'll leave room open for a fourth.
Okay, I like that. Leave it open. So I also want to ask you about your brothers, because there's some good athletes too. Talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, my brother just finished the summer out in the Northwoods. He's going to be a senior at UC Santa Barbara. He's had a difficult road. Senior year of high school canceled with COVID. Freshman year at Santa Barbara City College canceled with COVID. Then the summer going into his sophomore year, he tore his UCL. So that's 3 years in a row, 3 seasons that he missed due to COVID and the torn UCL. Got into UC Santa Barbara academically, which is no small feat. So I'm proud of him for that. And then walked on this last fall at UC Santa Barbara. So I'm excited for what this season's going to bring to him. I know he's going to be a big leaguer. Sometimes I think that he doesn't, but that's what big brothers are for. And then my youngest brother, Caden, he's 15, and he's wrestling, playing basketball, playing baseball, doing it all, enjoying enjoying his sophomore year of high school now. Crazy to think that.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned your brothers, and I'm sure you spend plenty of your free time, checking in with them and enjoying their company. What are some of your hobbies during the season?
Yeah, I'll tell you, like today I woke up, alarm clock, got up, went for a walk, came back, played some chess, and then I read You Are the Placebo. And then I looked over a monthly statement that I got for one of my real estate portfolios, had lunch, took a walk over to the field, and there I am. So I guess hobbies include reading, chess, investing in real estate, and building digital income streams.
And that's another question I'd like to ask guys is like, what would they think they would be doing if they weren't pro ball players? Is real estate your answer, or?
I'd be a finance bro for sure.
Finance bro? Like out on Wall Street?
For sure.
With the, what's it called? What's that brand? Peter?
There's my fourth, Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
there's my
there
fourth,
you go.
Mount Rushmore.
There you go. Wearing like the Peter Millar or whatever? What's that brand?
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember. There's that brand
maybe
that
not
all
that.
the Wall Street. Yeah, maybe not. So yeah, I mean, we're winding down on the season 2. Last question: what is like your big goal, kind of to end the year? We've got only a few weeks left at this point, which is crazy, but
yeah, we've got 1 month left. My goal is to keep my head down, focus on the work that I can get done this last month of the season. I dug myself into a hole to start the year, and I've been trying to grind my way out of it for the rest of the season. So, again, incredible back end of June, good July, dominant August so far. Looking to just keep that rolling.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, CT.
Josh, pleasure. Thanks, bro.
This has been Down in the Dugout.